broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network. The bandwidth for this episode of Gun Guy Radio is sponsored by Patriot Patch Company. PatriotPatch.co.
Welcome to episode 248 of Gun Guy Radio. This is a podcast that shines a positive light on the firearms lifestyle. I'm your host, Jake Challen, with co-host Zach Carlson. This is your dose of positive firearms talk without the politics. Hey, Zach, what's up?
Oh, it has been a whirlwind. What's going on, Jake?
I can't wait for 2020 to end. I don't know. I mean,
But wait, there's more. We have an election in a couple of days.
Well, there is more. We've got some special edition patches coming out at Patriot Patch Co., our pandemic series. We already released the first one, so if you missed it, you missed it. But you got 3 more coming. I think might be dropping next week or the week following. We'll have to see. PatriotPatch.co. You subscribe to our social media or email newsletter to find out when new drops like this are going on. Drops always happen on Fridays at 2 p.m. Central when there is a drop. So check it out, PatriotPatch.co.
And this one is pandemic centric as well?
Yeah, so it's our pandemic series. So we have they're super secret. I can't say what they are, but they're pandemic or revolution based.
Well, you can explain what the last one was, right? The last one was the plague doctor style one.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. So keep your distance. Your stupidity is contagious. So that one's, I've even seen people change their profile pic to that. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's funny.
So let's talk a little bit about current events, even though I might not post this right away, but big news today. What was the big news today, Zach?
SHOT Show is canceled, which we as a company kind of knew it was likely coming. So we have really not planned. I mean, like normally, if this was a normal year, you'd be in full swing of SHOT Show planning and preparations right now. And we have been holding it off, and it has been making everybody in the office just nervous and tingly because like if it didn't get canceled, that meant that there would just be an onslaught of work that had to happen in a very reduced time frame. And that was giving everybody the heebie-jeebies. But yeah, thankfully we expected an announcement in November. That was like all of the literature leading up to this said, that they said that the Las Vegas whatever board that dictates this kind of stuff was going to make a call in November and not before. And so I think they were waiting on that to see if any restrictions were going to get lifted on crowd capacity and all that kind of thing. And up until the last minute, I mean, SHOT Show was like doing webinars every day and saying, we're going to do this. Like, it was a plan, everything. Like all of the talk meant that they were going to do it. But I think most people kind of knew like, oh, how are they going to do this? Because CES right before it canceled, and that's same city. Right after it, the Safari Club International show, which is like a couple weeks afterwards in Vegas as well, canceled. NRA's Great American Outdoor Show right afterwards, but that's in Pennsylvania. That one canceled. So it's like, man, what are the odds of SHOT Show still happening if every of these other shows are canceled?
Well, the real question is, what about the Adult Film Festival that always happens the same time as SHOT Show? Was that canceled?
Well, they're immune to any kind of diseases, aren't they?
That's right. So, I mean,
if anybody's been wearing PPE for years, it's them.
Speaking of that, what are all the gun bunnies going to do? There's no SHOT Show. What are influencers and gun bunnies going to do?
Think of all the makeup not being sold. Jeez.
I know. They're going to go hungry. I can't even, I mean.
Think of the poor gun bunnies.
The poor gun bunnies. I mean, they're going to just be crying tears into their tactical bibs and stuff.
Yeah, but I anticipate their OnlyFans accounts being rapidly funded, so I'm not worried about them.
An OnlyFans SHOT Show. And then other shenanigans, Walmart pulls guns in all their stores. Which I thought they were already done with guns. I thought after Sandy Hook they pulled their guns. No, they greatly limited their guns. But from what I could tell, they still have like 2,400, 2,600 stores that carry guns. Our Walmart carries guns and ammo. And the last knee-jerk reaction Walmart had was they pulled all tactical calibers. So all handgun calibers and all like AR-15 calibers, or at least the ones they know are like they even know what they carry. And I think 22 LR they quit carrying. But so then they just carry.
That's the most tactical of them all. Is right. 22 long rifle.
So now they just carry like shotgun and hunting rounds, pretty much. But yeah, then they because there's riots in Philadelphia right now, and there's riots in a few other liberal cities, and so but they pulled it on all their stores apparently yesterday, and then they came out today reversing that, where they're pulling all the guns back out. It's kind of funny. They're just
wait, it flip-flopped twice. So they said they were going to do it, and they put them back, and then they took them out again.
Yeah. Well, no, they put them in the back, and now they're apparently bringing them back out. I don't know. I mean, you got to be able to buy your guns and vote the same day, so that's at least good news.
Huh? But I'm angry now.
I know, right?
Huh? Well, that's why you should support a regular shop, I guess.
I mean, like Walmart, the only guns they carry is like Henry lever actions and the cheap 12 gauge deer rifles or, other shotguns.
So no great loss, but they're just still garnering bad blood with everybody that's in the industry.
Apparently, it should be more opportunity for small mom and pop gun stores, though, so that's the good news there.
True.
So we'll get into the main topic, talk about what we've been up to, mostly what Zach's been up to. Maybe we'll bounce back and forth here. So, Zach, what's up?
Well, I have an announcement to make.
Oh.
I've been with Lone Wolf for 10 years now. It has been literally a decade. I moved out here on October 4th, 2010. Wow. I moved out here. That was like Labor Day weekend that year or whatever. But, Labor Day weekend. I've recently been promoted. I am now the director of operations for Lone Wolf Distributors. Lone Wolf Farm, sorry.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's basically taking care of everything day to day for the whole company. So that's pretty exciting. It's a huge challenge for me because, typically with my previous job of production, getting everything in the building, getting everything here ready to make, and all that kind of stuff, that was kind of dealing with my own problems and a limited skill set of other people's problems. Now I'm dealing with everybody's problems. So, it'll be an interesting change, but I'm excited. It's since this whole transfer of ownership back in May, it's been really great, and I can see the writing on the wall and see how good it's going. So yeah, I'm really excited to take it over and see what we can do.
So do you have an assistant to the manager, or?
Yeah, just call me Mr. Shroot and then we'll be good.
No, so basically the org structure is there's the owner of the company, Clay Tippins, and then there's the president, Lowell Millard, and then I'll be the next one right there.
That's awesome. Congrats. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Hey, back to your move. Back to the move that we made fun of how you like built a homemade trailer that fell apart or something. And
yeah,
I couldn't figure out why you just rented a U-Haul in that episode. And that came to me. We had this discussion at the time.
Yep.
You couldn't rent a U-Haul because you drove a Ford Explorer, and U-Haul banned those from pulling trailers because of the Firestone tire scandal. Yeah.
The irony is, if you drove a Mercury Mountaineer, you were all clear, good to go. It was the exact same vehicle, but you couldn't do it, or you could do it with a Mountaineer. Yeah, that was why. Yeah, I couldn't get a U-Haul, and I don't think I was smart enough back then to look for other brand trailer rental companies or anything like that. And it was the Harbor Freight trailer kit was only a couple $100 at the time, and I made a plywood box, and I was a real hillbilly back then, so it worked out. I still own. So 10 years ago, you gave me a Harbor Freight half-ton floor jack.
Did I?
Do you remember this?
No.
Yeah, you did. A little pump, the little pump floor jacks.
Okay.
Is it half-ton or no? Maybe not. 2-ton. Whatever. One of the smaller floor jacks.
Yeah.
And because I didn't have a jack and everything for the trailer, I was like, oh crap! I had a spare tire mounted on it and everything, but I didn't have an actual jack. And you gave it to me, and I kept it, and I still use it to this day. That's how I switch my snow tires around on my car. I used them literally 1 week ago today. I used that jack to put snow tires on my car.
That's pretty funny because I bought 3 or 4 of those jacks within a few years time span because I used to keep them in the cars and stuff, and because I figured they're better than the jack that came with the vehicle and stuff. But every one of the other ones I have completely broke and I threw out since then. So that's the only one that still works.
So I either got the one good one or I haven't used it enough to actually matter. I use it twice a year basically to swap my tires around spring and fall.
Yeah, that's probably no. I didn't use mine a ton either. It just quit. They just quit working. They quit jacking.
Well, I'm perfect at that, and it works just fine.
So
yeah.
So back to work. You guys got anything new, exciting in the pipeline?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't subscribe to our email list and seeing all of our video
I'm just saying this for the audience. Of course, I follow everything you do.
To prompt it along. The new owner, Clay, is real big on the Facebook Live events, and we did one a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, where we did like a shop tour and meet the employees kind of thing, and kind of showed who we were kind of thing. And we had a really good response on that, like way better than I thought, because I'm thinking like 100 people are going to watch this kind of thing, and it was thousands that watched it.
Cool.
It was great. So we decided to do another one, and we launched this gun that is not really for our demographic on this podcast, and really our demographic is Lone Wolf, but it's a gun that is specifically for new shooters. Like, cause, the owner lives in Atlanta, and like talking to all the people around there and everything, he had so many friends and family and acquaintances that really wanted to carry a gun, but they would not carry a gun without a safety on it. And like, it wasn't a logical thing, but people have their emotional ties, and they're like, I need a safety. I need this. I need that.
Well,
they just needed.
Yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I've always said that's Springfield's Armory's niche with the grip safety there, and that's,
Exactly. And so we like, okay, well, what can we do in that space? And we talked with Matt, our engineer, and really was like looking at it, and I was like a no way. Like, there's no way you could do this. Like, how the heck would you put a safety on a Glock? We looked at you remember the cider locks that was like a trigger shoe safety? It had a push button on the safety of the shoe, and you would push the trigger shoe left or right. Oh, had a little button, cross bolt safety.
Yeah, it's goofy.
Well, that worked. We sold a lot of those over the years, but they're pretty sketchy, because like you have to put your finger on the trigger to get it on safe, which is kind of counterintuitive. And then we looked at I can't remember what it was called, Cominelli. It was like a 1911 style safety that you had to notch your frame, and then it interrupted the trigger housing a little bit. And it was like, it's a little janky in there too. Like, we looked at those options, and we didn't like anything, but we wanted a safety. That was kind of like the built everything around it kind of thing. And so, Matt was able to put his head together, and just a few days came up with a proof of concept that worked. And, yeah, we have a safety now. So if you look at guardian.lonewolfdisc.com, it's a kind of a separate entity. We're fulfilling it for now, but it will be its own little kind of spin-off thing. But
sure.
That's what I say. Like, it's not for us. Like, I wouldn't buy this gun for me, but like my mom would do it, kind of thing, or something. It's a gun that has a thumb safety. It has like literally ABCDs printed on the frame and the gun, and it's really meant for the people that just need those fundamentals drilled to them. Like, A, this is how the mag gets loaded and where it goes. This is how the A on the mag release is you get it out of there this way. The B is where you put your finger when you're not on the trigger. The C is where you cock it. The C's on the C serrations. The D, the sight looks like a D. It's kind of like a MP5 hoop front sight almost. And you literally just bracket your target in the front sight. And I didn't think it was going to work, because we've used the Miraglow rear peep sights on pistols before, where it's like a traditional AR-15 rear hoop and then a center front. And peep sights don't really work when they're not right next to your eye. Like, when you hold it on a pistol away from your face, the peep sight just kind of covers everything. You don't get the alignment like you do on an AR-15 or like an open sight rifle. But this is kind of inverted of that, and you literally just line up the white bracket of the rear sight with the bracket of the front sight, and whatever's inside that target, you're shooting. So it's a lot more easy for the people to kind of get it. So it's kind of interesting. And then the safety itself works, and it's like a unit that goes on the slide, and we are offering it in this gun first, but I mean, we're going to put it as an offering on regular Glock slides too. We can cut somebody else's gun up to put it on there, because there's a lot of people that like have Glocks but don't carry Glocks because they need that safety for whatever reason, whatever mental block they have about it. So we'll be able to offer it as a conversion for them. But yeah, it's a lot of work. We did this. I mean, you got to figure he bought the company in May 22nd was the close date, and we brought this to market. We didn't even start on it right away, but it was just an idea that he said, like, put on the table of ideas. And for us, that was a monumental project, and it actually came together in just a few months. That's insane to us, but it came out and it worked. And
I mean, it looks really cool. I mean, you guys did a really good job with design, and not just the design of the gun, but like the design of everything that goes along with it. Just all the graphics, really great.
Yeah, this is, and our site, we have like 3,000 SKUs on our website, and it's hard to really like get a system to display those properly for customers and everything. So that's why this site is a standalone site that links out to it. And you can really, when you're focusing on one product, it's a whole lot easier to make it look really great and really be more thorough and everything. And the whole thing with the Guardian is that when they buy it through that site, the guardian.loneoffice.com, is they can buy training with it. And they, like, the first trainer that is set up is a former Green Beret, and he's like, Green Berets go in and teach third world countries how to do things without speaking their language. Like that's what the guy, the first trainer's name is John Parambo. But the first time I met him, I met him on a video call for the first time, and his name is Parambo. And I thought his name was Rambo. And I'm like, really? Is that like a nickname? Like, he just took the name Rambo? Like, that's a bold move, like, that's crazy. And then I met him, again in person, and then it's like, no, it's Poe Rambo, So
wait. Okay. I mean, Rambo came out like what? 40 years ago or more? I mean, you can't, come on. Someone's got to have named their kid Rambo at this point, right?
Oh, I'm sure somebody did. Yeah, but wasn't this one. But yeah, that was cool. So the training, they get like a Zoom call, and they can set up with them and train and everything. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a cool deal. It's a new thing for us, but we'll see how it goes. But, yeah.
So are you going to release one with everything in Cyrillic for Iraqis or for Russians?
Just no pictograms. Everything's pictograms on it. No, it should be interesting. And yeah, it's kind of cool. Cause then,
no, go ahead.
I think the cool thing about it is it'll be our first like full on production pistol, which will then let us know that, it'll work out all of our production line stuff, and just we'll go make full pistols from now. Like, there's no reason not to make all the other pistols that people want us to make, but we've been pushed off.
Well, it's not like people aren't buying guns right now, Zach.
Exactly.
So I think that would work out for you.
Parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The wind is at our backs.
No, I'm excited. That's new directions, and you got a really cool new job. Congrats. That's really cool. Yeah. So let me delve into my homesteading corner real quick.
Sure.
Here. My, it's great. Homestead, buy a house in the country, live like they used to. So I kind of got a snow removal headache here, because last year I was using a 94 3/4 ton Chevy with a plow on it that I bought. I bought it at an online only auction, which was my first mistake.
Red flag, danger.
And so it turned out the transmission was pretty much shot on it. And
wait, a Chevy with mechanical issues? Yeah. Get out of here.
So I got through most of the winter with it, but then it just got really bad. And so I took it to a local, somewhat local transmission shop here that had great reviews and everything, and had them do the transmission. And then after that was done, I only had to plow with it like one time. And then, at that point, you could tell the engine's going out. It's got like a lower end knock in it.
Is this a 454 or is this a 350?
It's a 5.7 350 TBI. Yeah. So
TBI.
Yeah, it's not the greatest. So I'm like, well, I'll just keep driving it like it is. I took the plates off it. I took the insurance off of it just to make it a farm truck. And, I'm like, if I get a few more years out of it with the engine not being the greatest, no big deal. So then I go to use it here this week, and the transmission's not shifting at all. Like, you have to redline it, and then it'll shift, and then you'll drive a little ways, and then it'll be like, oops, I'm out of gear. And then you rev it again, and it'll go back into gear. And and to top it off, I have a broken front brake line that I tried to clamp off with vice grips, and that didn't work. And so I've got like no brakes, and I could go if I redline it. So I got that going for me.
Do you have a trailer that you can just trailer this back to the transmission shop?
I just want to cry about it, really. I mean, the transmission shop is out of business.
I wonder why.
I drove by it. Before I realized this tranny took a complete dump on me, and I'm like, they look really empty. And I walk up to the door. I'm like, oh, they're out of business. So that really sucks, because they were supposed to be like the transmission place, and they like rebuild them in house because they're an expert and everything. And I don't know. I did some Googling on it, and it sounds like when they rebuilt it, they might not have like cleaned out the pump all the way, and like the pump is clogged now, and so it's not getting the fluid flow it needs to engage everything. I don't know. I have a new mechanic. I don't know if they even do that deep of stuff with transmissions. I guess I'll find out, because the other truck, my Power Stroke diesel F250 that I love, the harmonic balancer on it was going out. Like, I didn't have anything to clue me into it other than I changed out the alternator and put a new belt on it. And then I'm like looking at everything, and like you can see it like a visible wobble to it. I'm like, oh, that's not good. And then I started Googling it, and it seems like it's a real common problem for higher.
It wasn't throwing belts or anything?
No.
Well, that's lucky.
Yeah, it seems like a real common problem for older vehicles, though, because I didn't know this, but harmonic balancers are like, it's like a pulley that's packed with hard rubber on the back. They're not solid. Yeah. Like I always had in my head, they were like solid steel.
That's what's actually absorbing the harmonics that are off.
Oh, that makes sense. So I'm like, how would a harmonic balancer break? It's just steel. But then, I researched it and educated myself. So I got a new mechanic working on that now. And the other thing with that truck is it's like a one-legger. The back end doesn't seem to have limited slip, which I think it probably would have, but they're going to pull that and see what the deal is with that. I might have to pay to have them put a locker in it, but
why do you need a locker? Just for off-roading? You just hitting in
just for
spots and just
it's awful. Out? No, it's awful. Just for like if you drive in the grass and it's a little wet, you're stuck in two-wheel drive because it doesn't lock. Yeah, that's
embarrassing.
It's really awful. So anyways, I've been like totally stressing out though about snow removal because I don't have a plow truck. We have our driveway is a half-mile long, and then the lot back here by the house and buildings is a big lot. It's like it's like a parking lot for a business almost. And I've got a tractor now, and like the whole deal with the tractor is that in my mind that's like a backup because it's got a big 8-foot dirt bucket on it, and I do have a 6 or 7 foot blade on the back. But in my mind, that's not ideal for snow removal, especially on gravel. You're just going to dig up stuff and mess stuff up. And so now
it's a little clunky to operate too.
Oh, it's awful. Yeah. It takes forever to back up, turn around, everything real clunky. So I'm like looking at attachments I could get for it because it's got a Westerndorf loader on it, which is pretty much the standard for aftermarket loaders. And they have their own attachment system. And then like John Deere has their own attachment system. And then there's the Bobcat, quick tack skid loader attachment system that some tractors have now. And like I can get an adapter to go to that and then use Bobcat attachments. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I could do that. But like it's a big tractor. It's a 100 horse all-wheel drive tractor, but that makes it a bad thing because it's really hard to see out the front. It's really hard to hook attachments to it. I even bought like a backup camera system that I was going to mount out on the loader so that I could see what I was doing with it, because you really almost need a second person to hook up stuff. So I don't know. I'm still in the mode of thinking about what I'm doing.
Let's go back through your options. So why can't you just put a locker in the Ford and put a plow, move the plow to it?
Wow, it's a pretty junky plow. It's a older Western unimount plow. It's kind of rusty, and like last year it was having electrical issues, which I could probably sort that out. But it's really hard to find the bracket for my truck and everything. It's there's one on eBay right now for $700 used just for the bracket. I'm like, I don't really, cause snow pushers for Bobcats, are just super cheap. Like the Bobcat attachment market is just really like through the floor affordable because you can get.
You don't have a Bobcat, right?
Well, no, but my idea was that I could put a Bobcat attachment system on the front of my loader, and then,
but the loader's not fun to drive around, right?
Yeah, right. That's the issue.
Okay,
there.
So then you already have the bracket and everything on the Chevy, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you just throw like a junkyard powertrain in it and just pull the engine trans out of a other vehicle and throw it in there as well?
Well, that's the thing. I'd have to do both. So I think I might take it down to that mechanic and see if they can fix that transmission because it should be totally rebuilt and everything unless that guy was totally lying to me.
Well, if his business skills were just like his transmission rebuilding skills, then maybe you're in trouble. But I mean, really, hey, you watch Roadkill, they can throw a whole drivetrain in like a couple hours.
Right.
Do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I really didn't want to plow with the Ford. That's the thing there. Because once you put, especially an old plow, once you put it on for the winter, you really don't want to take it off and on, and then you really don't want to drive it around all the time. For 3-4 months during the winter with a stupid plow in the front. I like the idea.
Windsock on there, right?
Yeah, it's just a giant pain in the butt, and so wait,
are you telling me you don't have like 5 other trucks somewhere parked on your lot somewhere?
Well, I started buying cars is my problem. I can't.
Sucker! Oh, put it on the diesel, the diesel Tornado.
Right, plow with a Tornado.
That'd be plowing in style.
I've also thought about because there's this one company that sells basically a truck plow that you basically ratchet strap into a bucket to make it work. So I'm like, could I take the plow and ratchet strap it in my bucket and make that work? Well, the other problem with the tractor is that you can't, for attachments for the tractor and Bobcat, you can't articulate them left and right like you can with the plow truck. And like for doing the drive, I have to have it articulated to push it off to the side because it's a half mile long. But for the parking lot or, up by the house, I need something I can push. Ideally what I need like long term, I can't afford to do all this right now, but is to have a box pusher, an enclosed box, pusher, like a 10, 12 foot one, because the tractor could do that. And then I could do like just a couple swipes with it and be done with the lot, and then have a plow that I can run up and down the drive with real quick. Or a plow you can do
like parking lots for stores,
or a plow you can do just a couple inches, on the lot. But you get 5, 6, 10, 12 inches on the lot, and then it just takes too long to do with a plow because it all dumps out. And this plow even has somewhat enclosed sides on it, but it still just dumps out the sides and it takes forever to plow it.
Have you considered just paying a guy to come by your house and plow with like a big commercial one?
Who? That's the thing.
I don't know.
Man, that's the thing out here. Like when I had the gravel guy bring me gravel, I asked who does Bobcat work that can, level out gravel and stuff. Because at that time I didn't have a tractor or anything. I ended up having him just box spread it. And he's like, I don't know. And like you look in the phone book, you look online, there's no one. That's the other thing I had in here where I'm going to talk about, the LP tanks and heat upgrades I'm doing, is that the heating and air guy I ended up going with is just non-existent. He is off the grid. You try to find heating and air guys by me, searching online, you cannot find this guy whatsoever. He's not in the phone book. He's not online. And yet him and his son run a successful business and are booked weeks out, and it's just got to be word of mouth, I guess. That's how I found out about him. Word of mouth from 2 different people.
Yeah, say, why don't you got to ask your like trap shooting buddies or something there. Like they got to know people. Like you need to like join the VFW or something and like be like an old man club somewhere. And that's how people do real business usually, is people who know people.
Wow, that's for sure the way it is out here. But I would not want to know what it would cost for someone to plow me out. That would be just...
Yeah, but you're about to drop thousands of dollars to get your old piece of crap Chevy to get plowable, so you could run a couple of years worth of plows. Like you don't have to go anywhere. Like you
see, here's the thing. I gotta have it cleared out for UPS, and sometimes if we got big trucks coming, they're an odd schedule, and I can't be relying on some guy randomly showing up. You know,
sure.
I think most guys that would plow around here probably have another job or something. I don't know that anyone does it full time in this rural of an area.
It sounds like, I mean, why do you want to fix the transmission if the motor has a rod knock in it? Because, like, that just seems like Murphy inviting him right in and be like, hey, look at my brand new shiny transmission. Be a shame if something happened to it.
I put $3,500 in that transmission, though. I'd hate to think I can't. Wait,
is that truck even worth $3,500?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I paid $55 with the plow, and that's about what they go for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it nice? I mean, is it a nice body or anything on it?
Not super nice, but it's not super terrible. The interior is really nice. Well, here's the thing on this truck. It's got low mileage. Like, it's got 130,000 miles on it, which is, I mean, for a 94 is super low. And it looks good from a distance, but it's got some rot to it and stuff. It's just, I don't know. There's like another plow truck exactly like it, but it's a 2000. It's the last year of that body style. Because the heavy duty style, they kept this body style through 2000, and it's got the 454 Vortec in it and everything, but they're asking like $7,200 for it with the plow. I'm like, dang, that's just so much money.
Don't you have like extra engines and transmissions laying around? I mean, did you check in all of your barns and everything to make sure they're not like hidden around that you forgot about?
Yeah. I mean, I need to start accumulating more junk for sure. You know, that would solve the problem.
Why don't you put like a wanted ad on Craigslist saying need powertrain swap done? You know, what do you care at this point? It's already trash. Like it's already done. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I think I might get down to that mechanic and see what they say. Cause if it's just the pump and the transmission, if they can replace that and the filter, flush it out again and have it all work good. Cause it did work good when I drove it the few times after I, had it fixed.
Even with rod knock on it?
Well, that's another issue. You gotta solve one thing at a time, Zach.
Okay. Well, whatever works for you. But yeah, it seems like your only option is to fix the Chevy and to some level of usability.
I know, I hate it. It's such a money pit. But those engines are pretty cheap though, actually. So,
I would say, you can get like a Napa rebuild for super cheap. It's not that. And really, you can put a 350 in yourself. You could use your bucket loader to get the engine in and out of it if you don't have a cherry picker. Like, you could do that.
I don't have the time. I think I'll have someone else do it at this point. I mean, I've done it. I've been there, done that. Done that several times. So, but I don't want to do it again. At least not right now.
Well.
All right. Back to Zach's corner
back to Zach's corner.
Body armor? Your body armor corner?
Body armor corner. I'm a type of guy that likes to research everything before I purchase it. And on gun stuff, I'm pretty good. I feel pretty confident when I purchase something gun related usually. Have you ever looked at body armor?
No.
Like hard plates and plate carriers and all that stuff. It is a rabbit hole that I think will suffocate you once you get into it. Like, I'm like, I'd like to have some body armor. Like, I'd like to have a plate carrier and do this. And I don't know what's good or bad. And so I used, Whitey from Four Guys Guns as a tactical Sherpa for myself. He sent me a bunch of links that was the things that he used. And so I promptly disregarded almost all of them. I looked at them and then I do my own research to see what I like and, everything. And it is quite, nobody sells like a kit like, hey, well, maybe they do, but they're probably like lower end kits. And I don't buy low end as much as I used to. I try to buy something at least mid-grade to upper if I can. And this stuff is just crazy. Like everybody's like, oh, the steel plates will spall on you when it gets hit, even with the truck bed coatings and all that stuff on there. I was like, okay, yeah, I can hear that. But then I see these ceramic plates for sale that they're not that expensive. And I was like, okay, ceramic. Okay. And level 4, it takes that's high as there is no level 5, right? So this has got to be the best. And so I order these plates from LA Police Gear, which is, probably not the best, solution here, but, I'm like, all right, well, I want to see if I even want to have the stuff. It's probably going to sit in the back of my closet for all intents and purposes anyway. So, why not? So I buy the set of LA Police Gear level 4 plates, 10x12 plates, and they're like $235 for a front and a back. And then you need a carrier to put these in. Well, carriers have sizes like medium, large, extra large, but that does not apply to your body size. That is typically the plate size that you put in the plate carrier.
What?
That's very confusing to somebody that doesn't know any better. And so really and then you got to figure out, well, okay, these plates that I bought are 10 inches by 12 inches, roughly. They're, 9.8 something, whatever. So you round up to 10 by 12 to get the, most standard size. Well, what size is that? Like, there's not like an easy like chart that you get as reference that says, oh yeah, 10 by 12, that's a medium or that's a large, It ends up that's a medium apparently, but okay, but I found that out, okay, so that's the second brick on this road to agony to figuring all this stuff out. So I got the plates and got that going and I'm like, okay, ceramic's better. But you gotta be careful. Ceramics are, meant to only take a couple shots because they actually absorb the energy of the bullet versus like a steel plate it disintegrates the bullet upon impact, I get that. I can mentally wrap my head around that. So then I'm looking for plate carriers and one of the recommendations I got was this London Bridge Trading or LBX Tactical Armistice and whatnot. And it looked fine, but it looked kind of big and whatever, and so I was looking for something better, and I just started Googling plate carriers, and then the one that kept coming up, there's two, the Faro Concepts Slickster and the Cry Precision JPC 2.0 jumpable plate carrier. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, well, this also led me into this whole thing of airsoft, like, cause I was Googling these things and I'm looking at videos. There's not like a lot of plate carrier videos out there other than like big name ones, but like if you're looking for specific models and like looking for reviews and stuff like that, you seem to come across a lot of airsoft videos. And I'm like, oh, this is weird. And like looking at sites that sell them, it's like all these airsoft sites are selling these legit like $300 plate carriers. And I'm like, these gotta be fakes. Like, are people really playing, LARPing games and then buying legitimate plate carriers and stuff? And apparently I'm totally out of the loop here that yes, indeed, some people are spending real gun money on play gun, things. I had no idea. So apparently a lot of these airsoft companies are selling legitimate kit that like people in the actual military use, not like just fat guys in the mountains playing with these things such as myself. And, so, I am 100% aware of what this really is. It's not even I don't even call it fantasy. It's just like a just in case kind of thing. This is not real. Like I'm not here going to be doing cartwheels and shoulder rolls and taking a shot or two in the plate. But
well, you could if you played airsoft though. I mean, come
yeah,
on.
You could. Well, and it's funny because I had a conference call with an airsoft company about something else just right after this whole thing. And I'm like, all right, let me ask you this. What is up with this? And he's like, yeah, it's huge. He's like, you would not believe it's not huge in the States, but he's like the countries where you don't have guns, it is like a fantasy that like people fully live out. Like they'll spend 3 days in the woods doing this military simulation things where you might not even fire around, but it's all on the recon and the strategy and everything. But like, this is like grown-ups doing this thing, like legit people with real jobs and everything. He's like, he's got clients with Fortune 500 companies that they have like the John Wick gun rooms and they're just all airsofts. It's insane. I don't get it. I mean, I was looking at their site and they had like guns that were thousands of dollars for airsoft pistols and rifles. So it's a thing, but that's a whole other side. So I still need to figure out what I need. And you can look at stuff and you don't know what works with what. Like it is so confusing to figure out, well, how do I get the mag pouches on? Or how do I get this or that on? And like, I'm in Reddit. Like I downloaded the Reddit app on my phone. That was a first for me. Like I'm like deep down the rabbit hole of tactical gear.
That's when you really go off the deep end, when you download the Reddit app. And yeah. Because otherwise, I don't know if you've noticed this on a mobile phone. When you go to a Reddit link, it always prompts you, do you want to read this in the Safari browser or do you want to go open to the Reddit browser or the Reddit app? And I got sick of doing that. So I just, okay, I'll download the stupid app. But all these things, all I had was plates. And I had this carrier in mind, this Cry JPC, which I'm like, okay, I'm going to order it. And I also found out with all these tactical gear companies is they're like 10 years behind schedule and they don't have live inventory on their websites. What?
So Yeah, exactly. But they only tell you that after you put your credit card information in for $300, and then they send you an email. I get an email from Cry saying, "Oh, great news. We've got your order. We don't charge your card until you ship." That's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, good for you. But your ship date is March 11th, 2021. And I said, well, what am I going to do with my plates from, now until March? And so I go back on the hunt, and I'm like, oh, I thought I was done. I got this Cry JPC, this best of the best. Don't need, case closed, done. Now, so I go back to LA Police Gear, and they have a minimalist plate carrier thing. And I'm like, this is perfect. I'll just order that. $86. Hey, even saved me some money. It doesn't include any pouches, doesn't have anything. It's not really super fancy. It's just literally like a Velcro front, a Velcro back, and goes over your shoulder. It holds both plates.
Perfect. Plenty of room for patches.
Yeah, exactly. So I did that, and I'm like, okay. But then you think, okay, well, the cummerbund is the thing that you pull, the straps that you hold on the side. So typically how these work, which I'm finding out, is you kind of throw it over like a smock, like a front and back, like a sandwich board. And then the sides you pull over on your front and you Velcro them on. Well, you only get about a couple times of that, and you realize you don't get the same consistency of the tension front to back every single time when you have to rip Velcro off and put it back on. So then Whitey to the rescue sends me this link to this thing called a tube kit. It's a cummerbund kit that has these like looks like a hinge. It looks like a plastic receiver, and then a plastic male, and that locks in. And then what you do is you just pull these two little tabs, and then you can shove off the cummerbund, and then it opens it up, which is really cool. And then when you put it back together, it's just like a hook, like a socket receiver system that you always lock together, same consistency. That's great. Did I mention that the JPC was $300 and the plates were $235? Because then just the tube kit is $150, $144.90 to be fair after you ship it. So now you're adding, but you don't realize this as you're going. It's a little breadcrumbs that you're just following the stranger into the woods, and you just keep putting a little money down every time. And then, so this is $86. I've saved $86 by buying this plate carrier. But it doesn't have any mag pouches on it. So what are you going to do with all your stuff? You hold the plates. If you get shot, you're good. But what if you need to do a tactical reload or something? You got no mags. So then I started watching videos on mags, and Whitey steered me towards some HSGI tacos, which they're fine. I didn't really love the look of the tacos. The tacos are those ones where they're like a shell, and they have like a cord around them that creates tension. And the nice thing about those is that you can put multiple mags in them, and they kind of just shrink to fit or expand to fill, what you're missing there. And I'd only had on all my battle belt setups that I had in the last couple of years, I've been using Safariland pouches, and they're fine, but my CZ P10 mags are metal, and so they're smaller, and you tension them for that, then you can't get a Glock mag in there. And if you tension for the Glock mag, then the CZs are loose. So I didn't want that style on this one. I wanted a little bit more universal. And so, I found these STAC, ESSTAC, STAC, pouches, and they make all these pouches, and it's like, okay, good. Well, and you add one or two at your cart at a time, and it don't seem that expensive. But when you actually tally it all up, it gets pretty pricey. And so these are what's called, they have like a Cordura, I think it's how you pronounce it. Cordura, whatever. The fabric. But it's a fabric pouch with like a Kydex taco inside of it. So when you push your mag in there, it snaps for retention. It's pretty cool how it works. Huh. But then you need this triple, like the triple mag pouch panels that go on the front. Well, you need that. Well, in that panel, I did a 3-pouch AR mag, and then on front of those, there's 3 pistol mags. So just a 3x3 pouch. So I ordered that. Well, that's $65. And that's got Velcro on it. Velcro's on. But it also uses those little buckles, the little squeeze and then release buckles that go on it. So it comes with the male version of the buckle. But it doesn't come with the female, and neither does the LA Police Gear pouch. So now you have to make another order to some other place that has the little quick detach buckles that you could then put on your little loops on the plate carrier. So then I had to order those, and I got those in. And that brown doesn't match the brown of the other one. So yeah, whatever, it looks close enough. So now, after all this, I've got a plate carrier with plates in it. And these plates are like 6 pounds a piece or more, 6.5 pounds a piece. So you got, 15 pounds hanging off you. And then you got mags, and I got that all mounted and everything, and I got the cummerbund kit, and I got all that. Well, then, like, what about medical? Everybody says you need a IFAK and you need a tourniquet and everything. I said, well, I don't have a tourniquet. Well, what am I going to do? What if I get shot? How am I going to stop the bleed? So I had to order a tourniquet with a little pouch to put on the setup. And thankfully, those little, to be fair to the LA Police Gear thing, the factory Velcro on cummerbund on right next to your flanks has like 3 little just friction like sleeve where you could put mags in there. So I could put AR-15 mags underneath my armpits on the cummerbund. Unfortunately, they're basically impossible to get in and out of when you actually need them. So like I tried to shoulder the rifle and say, okay, boom, I'm out of mags. Like you can't get your hand snaked up under. I couldn't. And then I couldn't reach around all the way to the front to go to the right side with my left hand because the thickness of the plates is, almost, I think 3/4 of an inch thick or so.
Is it,
it's pretty thick.
Just the thickness of the plates?
Well, the thickness of the body too underneath the plates, but that's neither here nor there. I still couldn't get my side that I didn't have to cross my body on either. So like, if you maybe can make that work for you, great. But like, you can't also reinsert the mag when you want to either, because as soon as you pull it out, it collapses. There's nothing.
That's what I hate about anything soft that you put a mag in. I hate that you can't put the mag back in one-handed.
The Kiwis from S-Tech, they do work that way, so they're great for that. So this setup alone, this 2 sets of plates or set of plates, a minimalistic carrier, the tube kit, the triple pouch. Oh, actually, that triple pouch was $92. I'm sorry. And then the tourniquet, just that setup was $600. So I hope I'm in it now. So then I have this cry. So back to the cry, the JPC, the March due date. I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep that order because, hey, if they don't charge my card, I'm not out any money. It just basically cemented my place in line. So I'm looking at eBay, like to find places that have it in stock, and everybody's got it in like either the color I don't want, the size I don't want, or it's cut for a different shape of plate, which won't work with the plates that I have. So like I'm striking out all over the place. But then I find this place called US Patriot Tactical, and it says in stock. And it was basically the same price. And I'm like, boom, credit card in, I'm ordering. I'm smart. I got ahead. And then the charge came through on my credit card, and it went off a pending, and it went all the way through to like a full charge. I didn't see any emails from this company at all. And I'm like, hey, this is kind of strange. So I found their website, and I logged into the website, and it let me log in. I had an account. So I never heard of this company before that day. So they must know who I am because my email address and password worked. I click order history, and it's blank. I got nothing. 0. I'm like, okay. I'm searching my emails. I got nothing from my emails. So I use their handy dandy contact us feature that says, hey, we'll get back to you. Send them an email saying, hey, I got an order. I don't know where it's at. It said it was in stock. Crickets. Nothing getting back to me. I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to get a little worried. And then it was a Friday, and I called them during their business hours of what was on the website. And the thing picks up and says, you've reached us after our business hours. And I'm like, oh no. I'm getting ready to hit the dispute transaction on the credit card screen here real quick. So then the Monday comes around, which was just this past Monday. And I called him, and I actually got through to a guy. And he's like, oh yeah, I got your order here. And he's like, you wouldn't see an order history in your order account on your first order. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Okay. And I'm like, it says it was in stock, but it's been, 10 days and it hasn't shipped. He goes, oh no, that's not in stock. It's set to ship in like January. And I'm like, well, your website says in stock. And he goes, oh no, nobody has these in stock. And I'm like, well, then why does your website say it has it in stock? And I said, just cancel my order. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to support somebody like this that is just bait and switching me on inventory. So I struck out on that one. So then after all said and done, I ended up ordering the same exact plate carrier that Whitey over at Four Guns Guys Guns recommended to me, which is the LBX Armistice 2. So I ended up ordering that because I had already ordered a second set of plates when I was like, well, I'm going to have that as a backup set for my minimal one. I'm like, if I have a second plate carrier, I might as well have a second set of plates. So I duplicated this. So I ordered another set of plates.
Right. I mean, if you get shot, you got to switch out the plates anyways. So just
exactly.
It's like a New York plate carrier reload.
Exactly. So I ordered a triple panel because I was like, maybe I should just get just the 3 mags, not the 3 pistols on top of it. Cause you add girth every time you go another layer of mags up. So I ordered that. That's the one that was $65. When you add the 3 on the front of that, then it goes up to $92. Ordered that. Then I ordered another tourniquet cause I can't just have one tourniquet on the one plate carrier, but not the other. So I ordered that one. So now I'm in like $700 on that setup there. And that's only the plate carrier, but you need a battle belt too. So, and I got a new belt setup. I had the Elite Survival, Molly belts that you just kind of throw over everything and it has like a rubber backing and it kind of keeps up. I like it a lot. I really did like that one, but when I ran, it just didn't seem to hold up because I'm all gut, no butt kind of thing. And, those kind of things don't stand up to it. So what I did is, back to Whitey's rescue again. He recommended me a belt and I already had the Cobra buckle belts. You know what a Cobra buckle is, right? So, I already had one of those belts. So I was good there. That saved me $100 because I already had the belt. But then I bought the little, thin HSGI padded belt and then it has these vertical laser cut strips in it that you just weave the belt in and out as you need it. So like where you're going to go where your pouches are, you come out of the belt and then you can thread them through and then right back in. And then when you come around to your holster, it comes out, you put that in, goes back in. And it just makes everything really secure. They can't slide around when you go in and out of the belt like that. It sounds more confusing than it really is. It's basically a sleeve with a bunch of slits in it. So you can just weave the inner belt in and out of it. So I ordered that from HSGI's website. Like I like to go right to the manufacturer. That's what I wish people would do with Lone Wolf stuff. So I'm like, going to go right to the manufacturing site. Go through the whole thing and it says, well, it could be up to 16 weeks. I'm just like, they have no live inventory either. So I find it on eBay and I ordered on eBay. It was basically the same price. And I'm like, well, hopefully it's real. So it showed up. It looks like a legit one. It has all the right tags on it. So then I canceled my order there. So now I have this belt and I put it up together and then I had to order more bag pouches for that one too. So back to S-Tac and I ordered a double mag pistol and then I ordered a couple different AR mag pouches to see what I liked to go on the backside of it. And I got that all going and then I realized, I didn't order that properly. I need to order another one. So I ended up having to order a triple mag pouch and then a single AR mag. So now I've got like these multiple sets of pouches that you're paying, $40-ish for each one kind of thing. So I decided, well, I need 2 sets of belts now because I got 2 plate carriers. So I have the belt with the duty grip, outer belt on it. And I have these mag pouches and I was like, well, I don't have any medical kit on that one either. So then I had to order a belt mounted medical kit. And then I have the Safariland holsters that, you can have the quick locking systems. I got all that already, but I have a T-Rex Arms Ragnarok. I bought a specific holster for the CZs that I use. They don't fit in all the Glock holsters like people think they do. And so I have a Safariland Glock holster that it kind of fits, but it kind of rubs a little weird. So I ordered the proper holster for it and everything. And then I had to order the little drop brackets and everything. So once you do all these things, you've got so much money into the stuff. So the second belt I bought, so the between the HSGI with the Cobra buckle belt, that one is you just throw on over yourself. So it's like a time is of the essence thing. You just throw it on over whatever you're wearing and it works great. Then I ordered I keep hearing about these Blue Alpha gear belts. So I ordered a Blue Alpha double belt with Molly on it. So that is one where you put a Velcro, a female Velcro inner belt on. So you just kind of thread it through like it was a belt. And then the other belt has Velcro on the inside of it. And then you it locks it in basically. It locks it to your belt, and to your pants and everything. So I got that coming. That one says it could be like, I think it was 8 weeks or whatever. So that one I'm just waiting on, but, I've got everything else for it. I've got a holster on order that is going to take 8 weeks. It's just, I went down a rabbit hole with this whole thing. And so basically all said and done, I am basically at
spreadsheet total.
Yeah, I literally have a spreadsheet because also I couldn't figure out, like, did I get everything? Like, does this actually make sense with, do I have every piece? Like, did I miss something? Like, the whole clip debacle where I needed to get a clip and, you don't want to be short just that piece. So yeah, I'm almost, $2,300 into it or basically half of a transmission for you.
Right. Boy, this sounds an awful like my transmission truck. You know what? It got me thinking about couples, especially first time pregnancy with couples, you know, they you can go to classes and stuff where the husband can you know, kind of go through a scenario to experience what pregnancy might be like for his wife. So I just imagine you strapping all this on. Being the same, you know, kind of the same scenario of a husband strapping a big belly and boobs on and weight on his back and everything to simulate pregnancy. This is almost the same thing, but more of a tactical nature, maybe.
Tactical pregnancy. Well, I did strap it all on. I was super proud of myself when I got it all together, and I went into the kitchen to show my wife, and I basically just got an eye roll.
She's like, "You're playing." Well, did she say, "You playing airsoft now"?
And I do feel total like a poser in it, and it is total midlife crisis LARPing. Really, it really is. You know, you can take one look at me and like, yeah, you were never military, and so it was just like it's one of those things that, like, yeah, at least I could play like I am, and hopefully I never have to use it. But the theory was leave one in the car, or, you know, traveling set, and then one for the house, or one for me and one for my wife, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'm already in it now. I don't have to re-justify it now.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. We all have, both you and me have family in Illinois, so at some point we'll have to, you know, kid up and go back to Illinois to visit family.
Exactly. So it was quite the learning experience. And, you know, when you think you know an industry pretty good, but these are all these little periphery sectors or niches of the industry, and I just feel lost. Like,
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's so crazy because you're right about the line being so blurred between tactical and airsoft. You're like get into this world of is this real? Is this, what am I dreaming here? Is this an alternative reality I'm looking at over here?
Yeah. And this is where it's funny. You know, I used Whitey from Four Guys Guns as my like tactical Sherpa. And then as, my buddy at work wanted to have a belt set up because he doesn't really have a good setup that, like, he'd have to put mags in his pocket if he had to run and do something real quick. So he's like, I want to see a belt. So I brought this belt in that I got set up. And he's like, this is amazing. This is awesome. And, you know, and everything. And he's like, well, how much is it? I was like, oh, I mean, this is before I put it in a spreadsheet. I'm like, I think it's about $500. And he's like, oh no. And then like 10 minutes later, I look over at his desk. He's in Amazon typing up like Cobra belt or whatever. And it's like the cheap Chinese version of it. That is like where that belt was $100. He's finding ones for like $30. He's like, well, this is fine, right? And I'm like, you know, I don't know. Maybe for what you're doing it in is probably just fine, but I hope he just orders it all. And then, you know, we can find out together. But he's like, oh, you could be my tactical Sherpa. Like, give me all the things. And I send him all the links to everything that I have. And then 10 minutes later, you look and he's looking at the cheapest Chi-Com bullcrap coming on Amazon. And it's just like, you could see, like, it says like it's a rigger's belt with like a Cobra buckle. But when you look at it, the picture, it looks like the Homer Simpson car version of the Cobra buckle. Like it's like, it just doesn't look right. It looks like they tried to approximate it somehow, but it's not right. I'm like, you know, this one, I could like put 5,000 pounds on it and it'll still hold. And I'm like, that one you might be able to put 50 pounds on, or maybe it's perfect. I don't know. Maybe I'm being just a snob about it. That's why I hope he orders it so we could both see together. But, that's my adventures in body armor.
That was fun. Yeah.
It's a lot of pain to get to that point, but I just felt so lost.
Yeah. Well, we're here for you, Zach. You know, come back to the light.
Well, one of these days when I get enough money again to buy nods again, I'm going to feel lost all over again. Just looking at all the abbreviations for night vision and all that stuff is just puts you in a tailspin again.
I mean, the problem here is that you don't have any of this stuff in time for the election. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you just got.
Oh, I have one plate carrier set up.
Oh,
it's ready to go.
Oh, thank goodness.
I got one in time. Yeah, we haven't recorded in like a month and a half, so yeah, I've had this stuff for a bit. That's why when Jake sent me a message, well, what's the topic? Do you have anything to talk about? And I said, oh, brother, I got plenty.
Yeah, I haven't gone down that rabbit hole at all yet, and hopefully I don't need to now that we live out here in the middle of nowhere. So there's that. Location can really help with a lot of things.
Yeah, and it's just like a little security blanket. I know it's just like concealed carry. You know, you're probably never going to be in a situation really, like realistically, statistically. But it's just one of those things like, well, if you have the money to do it, why not? You know, like,
yeah,
live a little. It's only like half a transmission.
So are you gonna shoot your plates at some point to see if they really work?
Well, here's the thing. I have really considered buying better plates now already. So I might have access to a cheaper plate to shoot. But Mr. Guns and Gear did a video on these plates. That's what sparked this whole thing. Is I saw, his Facebook feed where he puts his deals, and they were on sale and they were in stock. Most of this armor you can never find in stock anywhere, or it's like 12-week lead time, which is like I'm already uninterested at that point. And he had a video that he did shoot them, and whatever. Yeah, I'm sure he's trying to sell a product, obviously too. So it is what it is. But I felt comfortable enough. But yes, I'm sure these cheap plates don't have the quality control that like a known good plate manufacturer does. But like I'm looking at like Hesco's, they can go up to like $1,200 for the plates for like a lightweight. So it's rated the same, or actually rated less in a lot of cases, but they're just known good quality. They are known lightweight plates. Like this one might be 6.5 pounds of plate, so 13 pounds total. Those might be 4 or 5 pounds, and that doesn't sound like a huge leap, but when you're carrying it on your shoulders, it sure does matter. So it's just one of those things. Like, do I like it enough, and will I actually use it at the range? I need to go to my buddy's house and put the plates on and shoot a rifle and like really see like, is this something I could do that I could actually incorporate into my just range sessions?
Right. That's what brought the pregnancy gear into mind, because you're like got like things stacked out to where you can't even reach around the front of you. And then like, how are you going to even operate, I use air quotes there, with that all on,
Well, and that's what like the Cry has this zippered panel that you could zip on backpacks and all that, everything. I'm like, well, how the hell do you get into the backpack? Like, unless you got a buddy system that you like, hey, can you get this for me kind of thing? Like, that's impossible. That's why they say like a lot of them just get a regular backpack and just slip it off and to get into it. But like, you still don't ever put anything in there that you need access to.
You need to infiltrate your neighborhood airsoft guys so that you can get some field practice with this stuff, and then you know what you're doing.
Well, after talking to that airsoft company, I may or may not have looked up Speed QB is this whole thing he was telling me about that, like, airsoft guns are like a CO2 cartridge and they blow it down there or whatever. But like there's guns that they have high pressure air adapters that come out of the grip and it goes to a tank they wear on a backpack, and they have like these mags that hold like 200 rounds in them.
What?
And they just, Speed QB, look it up.
So like they're like run on scuba tanks or?
Basically, yeah. And so It reminded, and they play on paintball fields. So it's basically paintball, but with little plastic BBs. That's essentially the way, what I got out of it. And they have like world championships in Sacramento and like crazy.
Really?
And I watched some videos and they're basically paintball courses, like just like American Gladiator style where you're on two ends and they have like random, blockades in the middle and you just go for it. But it was neat, but I mean, you're not going to see me out there doing cartwheels and stuff with it.
So would those hurt more or less than paintballs? Well,
I think they got to be less than paintballs because they had like a feet per second limit on them. Like I was looking at the rules and seeing what they were, and they put them on chronographs just like a real gun and like track the weight. Yeah, they literally take it has to be this weight and then this many feet per second or less. So it's like a legit thing. It's crazy.
Can I use steel BBs on them?
I wonder there's got to be a different size or something. They have to have like prevented that somehow.
Yeah, I think they're bigger actually.
Yeah, it would make sense.
But maybe I can pour some steel BBs that are the same size.
They probably wouldn't get any velocity is the problem.
Oh, I don't know. If you're running on a scuba tank, that'd be great.
Like modify like a piston or something.
Like a squirrel machine gun, man. Be pretty cool.
Yeah, and they don't count as gun stuff, so they're immune to gun control.
Gun show loophole. All right, that's pretty exciting. Well, you have to keep us posted. I think that's about it for this episode. Patriot Patch helps make this possible, and check out the Patch of the Month Club. And if you are into airsoft, I completely take back everything negative I've ever said, because airsofters are hugely into the patch world, and we have some pretty cool patches that not just Second Amendment guys, but also airsoft guys would love. So check it out, patriotpatch.co. Stay tuned for the Pandemic limited release series coming soon, and also have Patch of the Month Club. November, you get a bonus patch. Everyone subscribed to the Patch of the Month Club gets 2 patches and stickers in the month of November every year. So you get a tactical turkey. This year he's got comm block weapons, and then we've got the doorbuster patch that's got Big Cal 50 BMG and slug shotgun doorbuster. Get it. patriotpatch.co. And Zach, where can people connect with you online, find what you're up to?
You could see some out-of-date videos at YouTube and some out-of-date articles at Range Hot. I've been so busy with work that I really haven't been focusing on it, but they're there still.
Are you sharing your setup document here for the public?
Yeah, I mean, if they want to see it, I got nothing to hide.
All right, so I'll share Zach's spreadsheet here in the show notes. You can find show notes always at firearmsradio.tv. Click Gun Guy Radio, and you can see how many extra mortgages Zach has on his house. So if you're looking for awesome graphic design, website design, check out Ryan Cross at Hunter of Design. He does all the awesome artwork for Patriot Patch Company. And if your company, or if your personality, if you're a gun bunny and you need some artwork, you can check out Ryan Cross at Hunter of Design. And you can reach us at gunguyradio@gmail with feedback. And don't forget to check out all the other awesome shows here on the Firearms Radio Network. That's a wrap. Thank you, Zach.
Thanks.
We'll see you next time.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv.